we are about ready to go here as well. I'm coming to you from the Grand Canyon state of Arizona, and Sean is up in the northeastern part of the United States as you get a good look at Denver Fox right there in goal tonight for the Train of the North. Denver Fox had a great year in 2019 for Real Esteli, and he is on tonight in relief of Rodrigo Romo, as you see the pageantry now on display in Jalapa. How about that, Sean?
It's blown away from the field, which I'm glad about, because that stuff ends up on the field. It's going to be hard to see.
A great observation there, and the fans are going to get a good dose of it there, though.
Someone's going to have to take it.
A little midweek Liga Primera action. We are underway now here from Jalapa, Nicaragua. Esteli coming out tonight in the white shorts, white tops with red numbers, and you get a look at Jalapa there with green shorts, yellow tops, yellow socks. And both teams looking pretty sharp tonight. Trying to see the numbers on Esteli, very easy to see those, and not too bad on the Jalapa side as well there, Sean.
Yeah, it's definitely an easy read on both teams' kits for me.
I might be able to set my binoculars down for this one here tonight. We'll see. So right away, Esteli tries to get things going offensively. In the corner, bringing it across the pitch that time. For Esteli, number 27, Kosue Quijano. Our score bug is in full effect as well tonight, Sean, so that'll be great. Just inside the first half from Jalapa, Nicaragua, the Train of the North on the road tonight. Our venue this evening is Estadio Alejandro Ramos Turcio. Holds about 2,000 people, and you see a pretty good crowd on hand tonight. A lot of people standing along the fence line there behind the goal, and a number of people in the stands as well. So a great atmosphere, and we should be in for some great soccer here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you see behind the goals, fans are crowding in for this one. They're obviously seeing the best team in the country right now, Real Esteli. So definitely thrilled for that. You have to think that this is a match where Jalapa is trying to make itself get into a good position ahead of these playoffs. They are in third place, 20 points on the season, and trying to add to that to maybe challenge for second place with Walter Ferretti.
As you see, Juan Mascara now bringing it across midfield. Juan Barrera now with it for Esteli. A little chance in front as Barrera was there along with number 25 for Esteli, Orlando Ceteno. Getting some action here tonight for Esteli. You mentioned, Sean, at the opening of the broadcast, it's all about prepping for those playoffs, getting those fine little tweaks and pushes and pulls done and taken care of so that your team is primed and ready to go come playoff time. Yeah,
big time. I mean, for both these sides, that's the end goal, is to come out on top in the Apertura in those playoffs rather than just the regular season. It means as much as it does to come first place for Esteli, but the job's not done for them.
Nice job on the other end of the pitch, turning it away for Michael Montiel for Jalapa as Esteli tries to charge, or Jalapa, excuse me, charges down the other way with it. You see Denver Fox in goal, rocking the all-pink gear. I would imagine that would be for Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in the month of October. We're about the end of the month, actually. So now from the corner, it's going to be number 14 for Jalapa, Bismarck Velez in his first year, transferred over from Managua. So from the corner, that one off the head of Yon Mascara there for Esteli, and really no chance in front of the net there for Jalapa. Jalapa does a good job of holding that one in, trying to work it towards the middle, and we've got a whistle.
Yeah, offside on that one.
4 minutes gone by here from Jalapa, Nicaragua. Hopefully you caught that beautiful aerial shot as we came on the air tonight. Beautiful sunset there in the background. Rain beginning to fall. We're scoreless. The Train of the North on the road tonight at Jalapa. So far, back and forth here in the first almost 5 minutes of action.
The ball is moving quite slowly. You definitely have to give it a little bit of a push. And almost looks like some divots going from touchline to touchline. And that's definitely causing some problems when the ball gets played from side to side rather than going forward and backwards. So we'll see how that plays a role in this game, because touches like that right there will cause plays like that and fouls like Richard Rodriguez has just given up.
As you see right there, Richard Rodriguez losing his footing there. Jan Mosquera comes in to put his 2 cents in. And now, so definitely weather a factor right now. You mentioned the slowness of the pitch, and that ball is not going to travel very far. They're going to have to really work to move it up and down the field tonight.
Yeah, you want some water, but not quite the amount of water that it appears has landed on this field prior to kickoff, because it's definitely holding back a little bit on the way this ball is moving, but this is maybe the best type of chances from the air.
And a great segue with the water there as we have the Fuente Pura ad come up on the bottom of the screen. 0-0 our score. The home Jalapa facing the Train of the North tonight from Esteli. You get a nice close-up look right there at number 4, Oscar Lopez, the 28-year-old native of Esteli, in his 3rd year with the club. Well, that ball just dies out there, doesn't it, Sean?
It doesn't. Something
that
I'm
wet,
concerned
thick
about is just
grass.
the hops. I'm also concerned about the hops, because the way this ball takes that hop when it goes touchline to touchline, like we've seen a couple times. But yeah, the way it dies is going to play a role. I think you've got to be careful. The way Esteli likes to play the ball through the back line, it's definitely going to play a role for them in terms of how fast they play it and how quickly they try to get this ball up to their midfielders and forwards, because you don't want to play with it too much in the back when an error could cost you the chance there. I like right now this high press from Esteli. They're going to force Jalapa to clear this long.
Yeah, so far this has been a great game. Both teams pretty evenly matched here thus far in the first 7 minutes. Again, both these teams are going to really have to work to earn a victory here tonight with this very slow track. And fatigue is going to be a factor here eventually, so we'll keep our eye on that. Jalapa tries to set it up near midfield. Ooh, a nice play in the middle there. Juan Barrera now tries to get a turn under, and sliding underneath him is number 6 for Jalapa. That's Adolfo Colindres.
Yeah, that's an excellent challenge from Colindres. I need to see another angle of it. I think he gets all ball here, and just what happens, because he definitely gets hit in the face somewhere along. It's just right there. Juan Barrera lands on him. It'll be a corner kick, but definitely paid a price, but he definitely saved the goal.
Well, you called it right there too, Sean. That was all ball for Colindres, an excellent effort on the defensive end that time for Jalapa. And so now Esteli is going to work with it from the corner. And it looks like Richard Rodriguez will confirm that. Hey, look at that. Great to see the fans out there, even though the weather's a little damp. A little more than damp, maybe, huh, Sean?
Yeah, this is definitely one of those type of games where it seems the rain might just come any moment and just pour on you. The way it was raining before the game, the way it's still coming down, at least it's not quite a monsoon, but
a great look right there in the goal cam at number 1, Henry Maradiaga, the transfer from Esteli. So this game extra special for him tonight, as Rodriguez prepares to work it in for the Train of the North. Diaga waits in goal. Nice job on the perimeter there for Esteli, trying to work it inside toward the goal. Number 25 with it that time, Orlando Ceteno, but nothing doing there in front of the net that time, Sean.
Yeah, that's a smart defensive play. I think that you have two players close down that ball in the cross because the cross is more important than the guy that's open in the middle. And in that case, you force a corner kick, which is maybe beneficial for Esteli.
Mara Diaga elevates and pokes that one away, and now he comes down, and he is down on the pitch, grabbing his lower back, it seems.
Yeah, I think he might have been collided into or might have landed on top of someone before hitting the ground. It might be the contact with the ground that is causing him to get the trainers out there for him. We'll get another
look at it, yeah.
Or not.
Maybe we won't. But the elevation on that, just supreme right there for Mara Diaga.
Definitely was collided into. It looked like a combination of an Esteli forward and a defender for Jalapa. And one of those things about goalkeepers is they get that protection, and it's good that they get that protection. However, sometimes they go up for them, and in that case, you have to protect them because they are vulnerable as their hands go up. They have to come down onto that ball, and in that case, they land on top of the player, stumble. It completely changes the way that they're landing, and next thing you know, they're hitting the ground hard, and they come up injured the way that Martiaga appears to have come up in that case. But we'll have to see when we get our video feedback, so apologies for those technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's tough, Sean. Anytime you leave your feet, it seems, it doesn't matter what sport it is, whether it's soccer or American football or even basketball. Sometimes you leave your feet, and you're opening yourself up to a lot of injury possibilities. So
yeah, it's just like in basketball when you drive to the hoop or any type of situation where your arms go up in the air and you've completely left your torso and your legs vulnerable.
Completely exposed. So we have lost the video feed here, unfortunately, from Jalapa, but we hope to get that back shortly. We're scoreless. Welcome back to Jalapa. Apologies for the technical difficulties as we have those now sorted out. We remain scoreless here in Jalapa, 0-0. Esteli on the road tonight at Art Jalapa. James Spoovy alongside my broadcast partner this evening, Sean Meadow. And we're coming to you on the Esteli YouTube channel along with Sports Flick tonight. Pretty even thus far, Sean. A slow pitch tonight. We mentioned that during the first part of the broadcast, and that's going to play a factor throughout the evening here tonight.
Yeah, I think that we're watching this game and we're seeing just, I mean, it might be the reason for the technical difficulties. We'll figure that out at some point, but you see the weather, the definite effect that it's had on the field and in the way that they're playing. It's tough to keep this ball on the ground. I think we'll see goals come from mistakes if they do come from the ground, but if they come, they're going to come from aerial attacks. I think keep an eye on Yon Mascara for Real Esteli because He's a good presence in the air when the defense get forward, and so far Esteli's had a couple of corners.
Yeah, you mentioned Mosquera. He's been active thus far here tonight for the Train of the North as we have another stoppage of play, and now it's Jalapa with it, bringing it up the pitch this time. It's going to be Velez. And that poked away there by the Esteli defense. They picked a good night to wear the all whites on. That muddy, that pitch is going to be pretty muddy by the time we're all said and done here tonight.
Yeah, without a doubt at this point. One of those parts where I think you can make yourself look like you've played the harder match. You got the whites on. Outwork the other team.
The crowd intensifies there. A nice effort on the far side there from Jalapa, but Denver Fox coming out and snaring it with authority there for Esteli.
That's nice from Jalapa. I like that move down the right side. The one issue there is neither runner into the box is making that run to the front post to cut it off, and it makes it much easier for Denver Fox to come out and collect that as easily as he did.
Just about 16 minutes gone by. Great atmosphere tonight. Even though the weather a little dreary outside, it's not dampening the spirit of these fans whatsoever. So that's always great to see. Jalapa, 2 hours and 50 minutes to the north, Sean, from Esteli. So a nice road trip on tap for the Train of the North after this one.
Looks like right now Jalapa is working down the wings, and Esteli is trying to do these long balls, try and bypass that midfield and really spark an attack among the front two, front three for Esteli. And see what I was talking about earlier, back line can't get caught playing with it on this field.
That's it right there. Your point made indeed. Denver Fox lucky to get a hold of that one and get it out of there. A little breakaway there momentarily for Jalapa. And that's what it's going to be, Sean. You called it. You know, it's going to be catching somebody sleeping, a little back door. Maybe they obviously have to elevate the ball. It's not going to run down the pitch, so there's going to be a lot of down the field passes here all night long. And they're just going to try to catch somebody sleeping momentarily and try to sneak one in on them.
It was a good opportunity.
Trying to dump it toward the middle. Quijano over there with it for Esteli.
Rodriguez nearly makes that play there. That could be a goal right there as it gets cleared away for Jalapa. That's really nice.
Great effort as well there for Mosquera, holding it in and getting it over to Quijano. There's Mosquera once again. He's having a great night for the Train of the North.
That's a smart clearance from Jalapa. Let themselves breathe for a second. They've just evaded a huge opportunity. Could have been a goal for Quijano at the back post. Rodriguez nearly pickpocketed someone and had a chance himself.
Liga Primera action coming to you live from Jalapa, Nicaragua on the Real Esteli YouTube channel. So glad you joined us here this evening. Let us know where you're tuned in from. Get on the comments on there on YouTube. Let us know where you're watching tonight's game. Approaching the 19-minute mark. We remain scoreless. The veterans really making their presence known here tonight, Sean, for Esteli. Mosquera, Juan Barrera out there as well tonight for Esteli. A lot of substitutes or substitute players in tonight for the Train of the North, but those veterans really leading the charge, if you will, tonight for the Train of the North.
Yeah, as well as Manuel Rosas. He's the longest tenured player at Esteli. He's played 11 seasons now for the club. He's at left center back today, wearing the number 7 shirt. He's definitely the voice in the back line, leading this team from the back going forward. So we'll see how they're able to rely on that as they play some players who don't see a lot of minutes during this regular season as we approach the end of the year.
A left boot that time there for Richard Rodriguez. Tried to get one in on Henry Maradiaga, but Maradiaga, a great job of corralling that one, and now he looks to get it up the pitch now for his squad. And he does just that. Special thanks to our production crew on the ground there in Jalapa, Nicaragua, bringing you the pictures tonight and the video. Also special thanks to Ben Reynolds, our producer with Spalk Talk. Jalapa now with a chance. Oh, right in front right there, Sean.
Gabriel,
and if there was a chance, that was it. Wow.
Yeah, that was an excellent chance. He's offside in that case, but he really should be putting that away. You can have the ground to blame for that. That ball just takes a hop on him. But a couple of chances on this. He's in an offside position. That's why it doesn't count. I'm not sure if this shot is going in the net. It isn't. So he's got to put his foot on that. He just can't wrap it around. It doesn't matter in the end as it's called offside, but you really want to score that, especially when you're a striker. He's only had 1 goal this season. He wasn't involved in the last match, and right there would have been a big confidence booster going into this playoff for Jalapa, especially against a team like Esteli.
That was some kind of chance. They had the guys in the right position waiting for the rebound. So now Esteli with it. Working it in towards the middle. I believe that was a literally streaking number 4 Oscar Lopez in there for the Esteli, trying to make contact with that one. Unfortunately, we've lost the video feed. We're about 20 minutes in. We're scoreless from Jalapa, Nicaragua. So glad you joined us here tonight on the Esteli YouTube channel, also available on Sports Flick down in the Southern Hemisphere. James Poovey alongside my broadcast partner tonight, Mr. Sean Meadow. Sean, I'll take this time to congratulate you on the Dodgers.
I just work in LA, not quite
World
necessarily
Series win, my friend.
the fan, but yeah, big time for the LA sports teams. But yeah, just going back to this game, I guess that was in front of us. I thought that Esteli was getting the right idea with these balls in the air. We just saw as Jalapa had that chance that Gabriel de Oliveira had, that he's in the offside position, but it's off the ground and it takes that hop on him. It's tough to get his foot around. You look at Esteli, they've put balls in the air really well, and as long as they can find their guys, they might be able to score some goals from those chances. They haven't quite gotten them yet, but when they do, and they find the right guy, it's going to be a big chance, and Henry Maradiaga, the former Esteli goalkeeper, will have a tough time defending some aerial attacks. I think that's the kind of way that they're going to have to play this. So,
yeah, and you have to remember as well, Sean, that this Esteli team has a lot of experience with Maradiaga. They kind of know his tendencies. They've obviously had many practices with him, so they know what his trigger points are as well. So it's going to be a great chess match, and we'll see if they're able to get one in on him tonight. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll hope to get that video feedback here very shortly. Once again, welcome back to Jalapa. Our score 0-0, 0-0 as Jalapa, the home team, hosting Real Esteli tonight. James Spoovy back with you alongside my broadcast partner, Sean Meadow, as we look at Jalapa working it around against number 19 for Esteli. That's Ayel Palacios, 18-year-old native of Nicaragua.
Yeah, and we're getting word now from the production team that it is due to the rain, the storm down there, causing some tough connections, but we are back. And, that just tells you just how strong the technology is that we're able to still be on air despite this weather. So, huge thanks to the crew making this all work.
Oh, yes, indeed, Sean. Doing a great job there on the ground under adverse conditions. And we adapt and overcome, my friend. That's what we do here. So we carry on 0-0 as we approach 25 minutes of action. Yon Mascara now with it for Esteli. A very slow pitch tonight. We've talked about it all game long. And really it's going to be a very tactical match here as we continue with every little chance. It has to be calculated.
Here they are, another ball in, but this one on the ground from Quijano. I'm surprised that he's playing as deep as he is. But this is a head-on-head collision.
Ooh, a big collision right there. Number 9 down on the pitch for Jalapa. And we hate to see that. That's De Oliveira down there for Jalapa, and I did not see a number on the Esteli player, but those guys collided very hard there. Oh, man.
It's Bronzati.
Oh, wow. So we take a moment and hope that those gentlemen are going to be okay. It's great to see number 9, De Oliveira, off the pitch already for Jalapa, but the Esteli player still down right now. That's number 15, as you mentioned a moment ago, for the Train of the North. A very bad collision there near midfield.
And these kind of things, they happen in the game, and it's just so unfortunate when they do, and the referee made the right call immediately to get help, but he's sitting up now, and that's a good sign. That's always a good sign. They have to be careful with concussions. I'm not sure the concussion protocol here, but there certainly should be some type of an evaluation because that is very dangerous. Bronzati is lucky that he's still on his feet right now.
Yes, he is still a bit woozy as you see him kind of stumble off there. So great to see him at least up and on his feet as he jogs off towards the sideline. So he's going to need maybe an ice pack or 12, Sean.
I'm not sure if he should just be subbed, but he seems to think he's okay enough to go back in here.
And speaking of subs, it looks like we have number 9.
He's coming right back in.
To check back in, De Oliveira for Jalapa.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed to be fine. He was able to get right back up, but Bronzati a little slow on the getting up part of that, so we'll see how he does when he gets back onto the field, but those concussions can definitely hit later.
Yeah, you mentioned they might want to do a little concussion protocol over there with him and make sure that everything is not too scrambled upstairs, if you know what I mean. 28 minutes gone by here in Jalapa. We're scoreless. Juan Barrera, that one's poked away immediately. A great defensive stop there for Adolfo Colindres. As we get a look at Maradiaga momentarily there. Esteli's going to set up now for another corner as Richard Rodriguez makes his way over that way. Henry Maradiaga in goal tonight for Jalapa. In his first year with the club, transferred over from Esteli. Rodriguez sends it in. And no chance in front there for the Train of the North.
That's the right idea. I mean, those balls in the air, that's the only thing readable right now is anything in the air. This ground is not cooperating with these players so far, and I think that's just the way that you're gonna look at the way that bounces out of the goal box there.
Yeah, you really can't plan for it. Like you said, the ball's in the air. You can at least make an attempt or make a plan for it. Jalapa now the aggressor on defense that time.
Get an advantage here.
They've got the numbers right now. As Esteli does a good job on defense as well. We constantly talk about the prowess of this team offensively, but they get it done on the defensive side as well. Back and forth we go. Josue Quijano sends it in. Yon Mosquera tries to get a piece of that one. And the whistles signify our first cooling break of the evening at the 30-minute mark. We're scoreless. A slow pitch tonight, Sean, with the rain. It looks like the rain has tapered off a bit, or at least subsided for now. But it has definitely had effect on the ball here tonight and the overall speed of this game.
Yeah, as we get a look at some of the highlights from this one. This is the most recent cross. See Mosquera wide open. He might just want to let himself try bring that down with his chest. He goes for the header instead, and he misses by quite a bit, but that's the right idea. Those balls in the air. Esteli's able to get numbers forward thanks to their attacking formation with just 3 defenders, and it's one of the things that I think they'll have to focus on, and I'm sure they've picked up on because they're doing it so much, is the ground's not going to cooperate, so you have to find pieces that do, and right now, balls through the air are the way to go, and they've figured that out, certainly. You know that Holder Flores, who's given instruction right now, is talking about something in that realm, just making sure they get the balls wide and get crosses in, and try to find those forwards or those streaky midfielders like Yon Mosquera, who's coming in, and the 31-year-old Colombian, I mean, he's scored with it. He's had chances with his head before. He's scored 1 goal this season, and he's a player who can come forward and score. And Esteli have some height on this team. They might want to use it in these attacks, and so far they are getting to those headers when they do.
Yeah, you keep kind of waiting for Yon Mosquera to just break this thing open. He's been there a couple of times so far here in this first half, and he was on the doorstep of that one right there. Unfortunately, went for the header instead of trying to corral that one with his chest and get it down to the pitch and play it with his feet. But a couple chances for both teams, but if you like defensive soccer, this is a great match so far.
Yeah, I mean, this one is one where I think a mistake is going to crack this open. This has 1-0 written all over it just on an error.
Yes.
But that's something that both teams are going to be aware of. So defensively, they're going to play lockdown. I think Jalapa is going to watch for the counterattacks. They've been playing a little bit on those counters. They like to use the width, especially the right side. I think they're either targeting Manuel Rosas at left center back, or they are just feeling that they have more of a chance down that right wing with their own attackers. But something tells me that is going to continue this match, and it's not quite going to change. They'll be trying to get those crosses in, but I think they just need to find some headers. I don't know if De Oliveira is the right guy for that, but we'll see how they're able to react in the final 15 minutes or so of this first half, and what adjustments they may have to make for the second half as well.
So we're about ready to resume play here. After our first cooling break of the night, 0-0 our score. Esteli on the road tonight at Jalapa. The rain has tapered off for now. Checking the radar here on weather.com. I don't see any rain in the general area, so maybe we'll get a little break here, and this pitch will pick up a little bit of speed over the rest of this game. We'll see. 33 minutes gone by. There's a look at Yon Mosquera. Native of Medellin, Colombia. Quijano brings it down. Juan Barrera tries to work around a defender, and it's poked out of bounds on the near side. Goals hard to come by here tonight, Sean. You mentioned this game has got 1-0 written all over it. Who is it going to be?
It could just finish without a score, but this just has the field. Both teams are getting attacks that they'll just be able to find their ways through each other's back lines. Neither side has really looked significantly more stout at the back line than the other. And mistakes
True.
are happening in the midfield, turnovers like that.
Jalapa maintaining position, trying to fire away there. Great job holding it in there for Jalapa.
Borja going down, no foul. Jalapa's doing a good job, though. They're more familiar with this pitch, certainly. So I'm not surprised to see that they're having an easier time playing in this circumstance with these conditions. But they're just as likely, I think, as Esteli to make an error on the ball. Audacious right there from Montiel.
Montiel sends that one way over the crossbar and over the head of Denver Fox. Fox, a native of Bluefields, Nicaragua. Esteli bringing it up the near side now. Quijano works it around to Barrera. Eddie Nicoya in there on defense for Jalapa that time. 36 minutes gone by. A nice steal right there from Yon Mascara. And Jalapa now with a chance. Great job turning it away once again there for Esteli.
That's from that counterattack again. Jalapa is definitely relying on it. I think Esteli doesn't quite play on the counter. You can see Juan Barrera right there committing a foul after losing possession, but Esteli is definitely not the counterattack type of team. They like to have the possession. They like to dominate the games, and that's what they've done all season long and every season in the past few years. So that's why they're top of the league with 32 points and 7 clear from Walter Ferretti, but that's what makes them as lethal as they are, and Jalapa is able to try and play on that counterattack. They're getting chances. They haven't really put anything on Denver Fox yet, and Fox has had to come out of his goal, but nothing quite to scare the 24-year-old goalkeeper. And those giveaways for Jalapa like that could be costly, but once again, Esteli's not quite the team to play on that counter. They like to possess like they are right here.
Yeah, everything likes to be calculated, very well thought out whenever possible for the Train of the North. And credit to Jalapa for playing with what they're given, right?
Absolutely, but they know what to do in these fields, like we're seeing right there. These almost like slingshots where you play it forward, the player who gets it drops it off, peels off of the midfielder, let's say the defender, in this case we just saw it down that line. They peel off and they're able to get around. A long ball forward goes to the striker who can try lay it off to that midfielder who's just freed themselves up. And if you do that a couple times down the field, you can free up players, get in behind, and Esteli could be exposed with only 3 defenders.
Oscar Lopez gets it in now for Esteli. They turn it over to Jalapa. We remain scoreless as we approach 39 minutes of action here. A little slip and slide in there at midfield. Mosquera goes down on the far side for Esteli.
Get numbers in the box here, try and cross it in. This is a good chance for Esteli, especially not even on the first ball. This could be one of those where the ball gets into the middle, it takes a bounce, and it falls right for someone who can finish on that second chance.
We shall see. A good opportunity coming up here for Esteli.
I'd also say, with the field being as wet as it is, it can take a bounce. If you put this in front of the goalkeeper, in front of Henry Maradiaga, it can take a bounce and it can cause some mishaps. He won't be able to read it off the ground. So maybe the near post.
Into the air with it. Very little contact from Esteli until Oscar Lopez finds it on the far side, and now it's cleared out by Henry Maradiaga.
Trying to do that counterattack, that quick release from Maradiaga. I like that thinking from Jalapa, but really exposing themselves defensively as well.
Yeah, you got to realize if they got numbers on one end, they're going to be short numbers on the other end. Richard Rodriguez now across midfield with it. Jan Mascara. Nice job with the patience there for Esteli, trying to fire it in the middle, but way too much boot on that one.
Very calm, very concise in what they're going for. Quick passes, gets that ball forward nicely. But those shots from the outside, they have to be kept within that frame. It's almost a wasted opportunity if you're lashing at it like that, but it's not the worst idea when you can cut it if you see a little bit of the frame to have a shot. And I think that's what he's going for there. He's just mishit it. But the way this ground is, it can take a hop on you, and next thing you know, you're essentially kicking a ball from the air, and it's just going to take only air.
Rodriguez nearly colliding with the defender for Jalapa there. And I've got to mention, great to see Bronzati back out there for Esteli after that big-time collision there in midfield earlier in the game.
Yeah, surprised that he's as healthy as he is out there.
Yeah.
Making those runs as well. Just the fact that he's able to is quite remarkable. But you see on that play, Oscar Lopez for Esteli coming with the studs up. It means an indirect free kick just for dangerous play. So it can't be directly shot at goal here from Montiel. And I wouldn't shoot it, obviously, but you might just want to put a ball in like this.
That's it. Really one of the first ones really challenging Denver Fox tonight.
That's a great idea. Just try to get that flick. And I was talking about the ground earlier for putting the ball in front of the goalkeeper. It could just take a weird hop tonight, and Fox was able to get down to it quick enough. It bounced a little close to him, so it couldn't take that strange skip off of the very wet grass here, but that's a really good stop from Denver Fox. The 24-year-old kept his eye on that one. I think he didn't dive until after it got that deflection, and just that redirection is enough to change it if the goalie has already committed themselves, and in this case, Fox hadn't. Really, really good save. Way to be patient there.
Fantastic job by Denver Fox. And that one caroms off a Jalapa player and goes out of bounds. And you mentioned Denver Fox. This Real Esteli team is very deep in goal with Rodrigo Romo, Henry Maradiaga. They had prior in last year. And they also have Denver Fox, who is a fantastic young goalkeeper here in Liga Primera. So the depth at goalkeeper on this team, very deep.
Yeah, I mean, they sent Henry Maradiaga over to Jalapa. They had Denver Fox already, and he's been there for 4 years. They go and they get a 28-year-old Rodrigo Romo from Ibanez in Spain, and he's an immediate starter. He's been excellent this year. He's keeping them in the Apertura at the top of the table. This is his first season, not just his first year. He didn't play in the Clausura earlier in the year, and that just tells you how big of an emphasis there is for Esteli in goal to make sure their goalkeepers are the top that they can be, because they definitely win games for this team.
Here comes Jalapa with it now. And Esteli able to close down on that one. Very good. Rodriguez now clears it out, tries to anyway, for Esteli. We're scoreless as we near the end of our first half of regulation. There's bound to be a little bit of stoppage time. Whistles on that play right there. So glad you joined us here this evening on the Real Esteli YouTube channel. Also available tonight on Sports Flick. James Spoovy alongside my broadcaster this evening, Sean Meadow. And this one back and forth, Sean, all evening long. And a really good, entertaining first half here. Even though we're scoreless, there's been some great soccer here tonight.
There has, and obviously the weather playing a role with not just the game, but the feed as well here. So we've seen good play from both sides. Esteli playing through the wings, really focusing on getting this ball wide to cross in. Jalapa is doing a bit of the same, but they are a little more happy to play with the ball on the ground and through a counterattack, which is definitely catching the Real Esteli players having to be focused, at least, keeping them on their toes. And so far, Esteli has been up to that challenge. The best chance of the game, though, obviously carried away by Esteli's goalkeeper, Denver Fox. Jalapa with a good ball in off of a free kick flicked on. I think that there were opportunities for Esteli to score early. They didn't take those advantages. Jalapa has addressed that kind of style that Esteli is attacking them with, and they've been able to change their tactics defensively. It's definitely thwarted some of those attacks for Esteli on the ground. It's not allowing Esteli to attack through the center channels, or at least try and pass the ball into the box. They're having to cross them from the fullbacks, the outside backs who are coming forward. Jose Quijano on the right has been crossing a lot of the balls in. He's that right outside back, and I think what Esteli has to do is just make sure they can find their way to hit those targets in the air and get a chance on goal, because they haven't quite challenged their former goalkeeper, Henry Maradiaga.
Yeah, we talked about, the lack of challenges tonight for Denver Fox. The same thing on the other end for Maradiaga. And, both these goalkeepers outstanding in the box for both these teams. And Denver Fox, let me tell you, I saw him make some unbelievable saves when I first started doing some games for Esteli. So the talent is just off the charts in goal for both these teams. And unfortunately, we've lost the video feed again. So we will just shortly step aside, and we'll be right back with you when we regain access to that video feed here on the Esteli YouTube channel. Stay with us. And we're back just like that. A Jalapa player on the pitch and right on cue. It's number 4, Marcos Garcia, in his third year, joined the ball club in 2018. Unfortunately, we didn't see the incident that brought him down on the pitch.
Looks like another head, though.
It looks like it. Trying to cool him off a little bit. A good look there at Josue Quijano. Fans still lining the fence line there behind the Jalapa goal. Cheering on Maradiaga. 46 minutes gone by. We're into stoppage time here in our first half, as you get another look there at Henry Maradiaga.
James, I've got to say, I'm excited for the second half with Jalapa
yes.
attacking the side that their fans are all behind.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
For a goalkeeper like Denver Fox, just 24 years old, you're going to be peppered by these fans.
Yes.
And heckled, and you're going to have to deal with that, and also the fact that the other team is attacking you. So, it's from all directions at that point. I think that would be something to keep an eye on heading into the second half, but Esteli looks like they want a little bit more than just a free kick on this one.
Yeah, they're making their disagreements known, if you will, as we get another look at it here. Or we got the tail end of it.
And I think that's a little bit more of why, in that case, Chavarria is as upset as he is because the play has just stopped yet again for a free kick. But I think this is actually a blessing in disguise for Esteli. This kind of angle we just saw work for Jalapa to get a chance on goal. If Rodriguez puts a good ball in and it's flicked on toward the frame, good opportunity.
Yon Mosquera holds it in with the header, and Maradiaga elevates slightly and comes up with an easy save.
Yeah, a little too
so
easy.
Mosquera was with the best chance on it, and that is the end of our first half. So through one half of soccer here in Jalapa, Nicaragua, we're scoreless. Chances for both teams, but not just able to connect and get it through into the net, Sean, and it's going to make for an exciting second half.
Yeah, this is definitely a game that we've talked about earlier, but could go 1-0, could go 0-0, but as we see, I mean, these chances, Esteli with only 1 shot on goal with 7 total opportunities. It's just that ratio is not quite where they'd want it. And 6 corner kicks. They have to put pressure on Henry Maradiaga. I think the fact that Jalapa has had 3 total chances and 2 of them have landed on frame speaks a lot to the, I think, shot selection that Jalapa is making. They're not necessarily forcing things through the way Esteli is. That also says Esteli has a lot of this possession in the final third, Jalapa playing on the counterattack. If Jalapa get it, they're going to have to make on one of their big chances. And we saw earlier De Oliveira have a huge chance that he squandered just outside the 6 as we get some of the highlights from this first half.
Yeah, an exciting first half. We're scoreless. We'll take a break. Halftime festivities underway now in Jalapa. The rain holding off as of now, so we'll stay tuned on that. But the second half coming your way shortly. James Spoovy alongside my broadcast partner this evening, Sean Meadow. We'll be right back with you here for the second half from Jalapa on Real Esteli TV on YouTube. Stay tuned.
Y recordar grandes momentos.
Porque la historia no solo se recuerda.
La historia se escribe y se vive.
Hoy más que nunca vamos con el tren a todas partes.
Porque somos un solo equipo.
Llevamos la sangre kamikaze.
Por un solo campeón.
Por una sola grandeza.
Por un nuevo Real Esteli.
Grande, solo el tren.
Hoy no solo nace un nuevo equipo.
Hoy nace una institución que evoluciona.
Es el inicio de una nueva era.
El legado continúa.
El diamante de las Segovias brilla por sí mismo. Eran los 60s cuando dejamos de esperar ese sueño que nos llegó sobre rieles e iniciamos la búsqueda de nuestro propio legado. La participación de un primer campeonato nos abrió paso a la época dorada del fútbol nacional. De ahí partió nuestro propio tren, el Tren del Norte. Fue en la siguiente parada donde se marcó el inicio de nuestra leyenda. En julio del 91, una ronda de penales inauguró la época real. Por los últimos 30 años, hemos ido con el tren a todas partes, con un corazón rojo y el alma blanca. Campeones que salimos al mundo por Nicaragua. Volvemos a la Independencia con la emoción de la próxima temporada, defendiendo una racha imparable del Club Nacional de Fútbol más exitoso hasta la fecha. 8,000 almas nos reunimos en el mejor estadio de fútbol del país a celebrar, llorar, sufrir y rugir por la camiseta rojiblanca. La barra kamikaze entrega todo en las gradas por la hegemonía y el legado de su equipo. Juntos sudamos la camiseta y brillamos por nuestros propios compromisos con el deporte nacional. Somos el Tren, quienes orgullosamente representamos la primera institución deportiva de Centroamérica. Ese es nuestro legado. Un mismo equipo, un mismo país, la herencia que viene de la montaña. Ahora, una marca deportiva de campeones nicaragüenses con futuras generaciones que seguirán brillando como diamantes en la corona del Real Esteli. El legado continúa. Nos has acompañado en cada minuto jugado. Has estado con tu camiseta alentando en la gradería. El Independencia ha rugido con tu grito de combate. Tus bengalas han iluminado los campos de juego. Has estado en cada batalla, en cada victoria, en cada derrota. Esta vez, por las circunstancias en las que enfrenta el mundo, por esa batalla que vamos a ganar, las graderías están vacías, pero nunca nos sentimos solos, porque tu camiseta, tu grito, tus bengalas nos iluminaron el corazón hasta el último minuto. Y como en cada final, dejamos todo en la cancha por vos. Este título tiene tu nombre. Gracias, fanaticada. Yo soy del Tren.
Viví la nueva experiencia digital del campeón nacional de Nicaragua. Ingresa a realestelifc.com y disfruta de la nueva app online del Tren del Norte. Noticias, resultados, estadísticas, videos y todas nuestras series en un solo lugar. Recibí notificaciones directamente en tu dispositivo. Suscríbete ahora y sé parte de la familia rojiblanca.
The Train of the North invites you to subscribe to its new YouTube channel, where you can enjoy live matches, scores, interviews, and exclusive content from the greatest soccer club and reigning Nicaraguan champion. The time to be engaged with the international train has arrived. Follow the train from the north.
Llegó el momento. de dar el gran paso,
de pasar el legado a una nueva generación.
Es el momento de trascender.
Y ser más que un gran equipo.
Es el momento de honrar grandes proezas.
Y recordar grandes momentos.
Porque la historia no solo se recuerda.
La historia se escribe y se vive.
Hoy más que nunca vamos con el tren a todas partes.
Porque somos un solo equipo.
Llevamos la sangre kamikaze.
Por un solo campeón.
Por una sola grandeza.
Por un nuevo Real Estelí.
Grande, solo el tren.
Hoy no solo nace un nuevo equipo.
Hoy nace una institución que evoluciona.
Es el inicio de una nueva era.
El legado continúa.
El diamante de las Segovias brilla por sí mismo. Eran los 60s cuando dejamos de esperar ese sueño que nos llegó sobre rieles e iniciamos la búsqueda de nuestro propio legado. La participación de un primer campeonato nos abrió paso a la época dorada del fútbol nacional. De ahí partió nuestro propio tren, el Tren del Norte. Fue en la siguiente parada donde se marcó el inicio de nuestra leyenda. En julio del 91, una ronda de penales inauguró la época real. Por los últimos 30 años, hemos ido con el tren a todas partes, con un corazón rojo y el alma blanca. Campeones que salimos al mundo por Nicaragua. Volvemos a la independencia con la emoción de la próxima temporada, defendiendo una racha imparable del Club Nacional de Fútbol más exitoso hasta la fecha. 8,000 almas nos reunimos en el mejor estadio de fútbol del país a celebrar, llorar, sufrir y rugir por la camiseta rojiblanca. La barra kamikaze entrega todo en las gradas por la hegemonía y el legado de su equipo. Juntos sudamos la camiseta y brillamos por nuestros propios compromisos con el deporte nacional. Somos el Tren, quienes orgullosamente representamos la primera institución deportiva de Centroamérica. Ese es nuestro legado. Un mismo equipo, un mismo país, la herencia que viene de la montaña. Ahora, una marca deportiva de campeones nicaragüenses con futuras generaciones que seguirán brillando como diamantes en la corona del Real Estelí. El legado continúa.
Welcome back to Jalapa, Nicaragua. We are scoreless. James Poovey alongside my broadcast partner this evening, Mr. Sean Meadow. And Sean, wow, a great first half, scoreless, albeit first half, but exciting action, and this is going to be a great finish.
It was a good first half for both sides. There were moments I thought that they could work from, find ways to expose each other's defenses and weaknesses, especially with the slick field a bit waterlogged after some heavy rain prior to kickoff and in the beginning of the first half, but good chances for both sides. Esteli definitely with the bulk of possession and Jalapa playing off the counterattack. We'll see if there's more of that. It'll also be interesting for Jalapa to have their fans behind the goal that they're attacking, and if that affects Esteli's goalkeeper, Denver Fox.
Yeah, you mentioned he might be subject to a little bit of heckling down there on that end, so we'll keep our eye on that. And right now we can't tell because Esteli on the charge with it on the other end of the pitch. And once again, great to see number 15 back in action for the Train of the North after that injury there in the first half. A gruesome hit for number 15, Bronzati.
It's interesting to think, at what point will urgency become a factor for either of these sides? Esteli so far ahead on the table, obviously 7 points clear of second, but there's still some to play for Jalapa. They can avoid playing against a higher-ranked opponent in the Apertura if they can pull off winning these final 2 matches of the season, and if Walter Ferretti drops points in each of the games or loses both of its games at least, being 5 points behind Walter Ferretti. So I'm not sure necessarily what will happen in that case. I think that's asking a lot in results that you can't control for Jalapa. But Esteli's case, at least, they might just be content with a draw, just getting out without injuries, getting out with some looks for some guys who haven't seen a lot of minutes this season.
Yeah, you're right on with the analysis right there, Sean, for sure. Obviously, the sense of urgency definitely going to be more on the Jalapa side here in the second half. Esteli would probably be more than comfortable with the draw and getting out of here without any serious injury, especially with what happened to Bronzati there in the first half. So, but Esteli always playing for pride.
Haven't seen a
we
lot
hear
of Juan
few young
Barrera.
fans in attendance tonight here.
Yeah, there's plenty of fans bringing noise. It's only a 2,000 capacity stadium at its largest, and I think they might be filled to the top today, especially with the top team in the country in town.
Nicaragua, one of the very lucky countries here in the world with respect to the coronavirus pandemic, only becoming a level 1 as they didn't really shut down there in Nicaragua as we did in other parts of the world. So here comes Jalapa with it. Working his way through traffic and putting it into the net. Number 16 for Jalapa. What a score there. Sean, that was a great job dribbling his way through the defense. Number 16, Brayon Zuniga, native of Honduras, the 24-year-old, celebrating with his squad right there after a fantastic score.
Yeah, Zuniga just cuts in onto his left foot, his dominant left foot. That's a great goal. Not much that Denver Fox can do there at the near post. Low, it's hard, it's going away from the middle of the net. It's everything you want in that strike at that near post. That's an excellent, excellent goal from Zuniga. You know, he's had nothing big stats-wise this season. He started last game, he starts this game, and he starts off the second half with a beautiful goal.
And a little victory lap of sorts right there for Zuniga. We're going to get another look at it here, Sean.
Yeah, watch as he takes it all with his left foot. At the very last second, going up against the veteran, the 36-year-old Manuel Rosas, and watch how he cuts it. Right there, the sliding challenge comes just too late, not enough, and it does pop up on him a little bit, which gives him that momentum. Watch as this pops up right there. He gets the shot, it dips at the last second on Denver Fox. He gets so much of that ball because it goes up in the air, and he celebrates in style after a very stylish finish.
A stylish finish, stylish goal, a little celebration dance there afterward, and what a goal there for Zuniga. A beautiful job with the footwork. You mentioned the elevation of the ball right there before the strike, and Denver Fox no chance on that one. So 1-0 Jalapa, now the home team up here in half number 2. So now Esteli, the pressure's on the Train of the North to even it up.
Yeah, and this will change a lot of Esteli's tactics, I think, in this second half. Because you go down, it's a lot different when you're drawing 0-0. And certainly fine with that. They've had 2 losses this season, Esteli 1 draw, but I think they'd be content with a draw, especially now having conceded, but you're playing away, it's toward the end of the season, and it's not your usual starting 11. But Esteli is definitely going to have to be urgent of some sorts. You'd think that they wouldn't just be content with a loss or letting Jalapa attack for the second half.
And it doesn't appear like Jalapa's done yet. They're keeping it down there, and number 16, Zuniga, almost had another chance there for a moment.
Trying to capitalize on that momentum as they should. And the way that they're playing right now with that draw last match against Dirianhen, definitely a bit of a stumble toward the end of this season as they were trying to get themselves into maybe second place going into the playoffs here in the Apertura. But this could be the kind of result that gets them the momentum going late, but I don't think Esteli's going away quietly, I should say.
I would have to agree with that one right there. It looked like Bronzati from the far side there, and you can obviously tell that the intensity has been turned up here for Esteli as they want to definitely respond to that Art Jalapa goal. So now in the corner this time for Esteli. And I didn't get a number on that, Jim.
Yeah, nearly impossible to tell.
That one ping-pongs around for a moment. Esteli brings it under control again. And down on the pitch on the far side. And a yellow card comes out.
I'm not sure who that was brandished to, if that might have actually gone to Juan Barrera for some extracurriculars, but
judging by the body language right there, Sean, it might have been assessed to number 11, Juan Barrera. It is indeed on Barrera.
And Esteli gets this free kick still. It's a good opportunity here to try and get some momentum on the back of it. If you're the attacking player for Esteli, all you have to do here is just try and deflect it towards goal because of the angle that it's coming from, and I'm assuming it's going to be taken with a left-footed in-swinger is what it's lining up to look like. So if you get that, just that deflection, just the redirection to go toward goal. Luis Lopez has a good left-footed cross. We'll see if he can find someone just to redirect it.
Number 25 with the only apparent chance there in the middle for Esteli. And that was Chavera.
Maradiaga's gone down.
Maradiaga is down on his knees right now.
I think when he came to punch the ball out, he collided with an Esteli player in the process of getting rid of that. And that's exactly what they wanted out of that Esteli. A good curling ball, just trying to get a flick on it. As we saw, Javaria had that flick, but it wasn't finished off by anyone. It looks like Chris Martinez has a card as well.
So, Jalapa picking up a yellow for themselves. So the yellow cards even this evening now at 1 apiece. 54 minutes into the game. Jalapa on top, 1-0 at home against the visiting Train of the North. Esteli now ratcheting the intensity a little bit offensively, as they would love nothing more to even the score.
They've still got plenty of time to do so. 35 minutes and change on that, so not quite a rush yet, but the urgency has definitely stepped up since Jalapa's goal.
Esteli turns it back the other way. Bronzati volleys it a minute. I'm just impressed that Bronzati's still up off the pitch after that collision in the first half there, Sean.
Yeah, strong head-on-head collision there with Gabriel de Oliveria, but, you know, he's okay. It seems at least okay enough to continue in this game. We'll see how he's able to proceed, but definitely something to keep an eye on. I'm surprised that he's okay because of how dire it looked. His teammates calling for trainers to come on, and, you know, glad he's okay. Glad he's able to continue in this game, but definitely some questions around that.
Jalapa trying to swing that one in as Denver Fox comes out and collides with Oscar Lopez. So Fox now is going to put it down at the corner of the box.
That's a good 10 yards away from the foul, but the referee doesn't seem to mind. I've never seen a referee cool with that. That's something.
Oh, I'm impressed as well with the condition of the pitch right now. We got lucky that the rain kind of tapered off there about midway through the first half, and that has allowed the pitch to maintain a little bit of playability. Ooh, a shot there as number 16 for Jalapa goes down to the pitch. And that is Brian Zuniga, yes, the lone goal scorer here tonight in Jalapa. As number 3, Eddie Nicoya prepares to check in, the native of Diriamba, Nicaragua, for Jalapa. And he is going to check in as number 49, Luis Borge checks out. And excuse me, that is not Nicoya. That is number 3, Gerson Ramos, that just checked in for Jalapa. So my mistake on that one. Denver Fox elevating and trying to catch up with a ball that sails wide, high, and right.
That's a good effort. I like that one. I think Fox is down a little bit late on that, so that ends up on frame. That might be in the net. Lucky that goes wide. We'll get another shot at this, but
ooh, it wasn't really too far off, was it?
No, that was an excellent shot. That's just unlucky to go off a frame, and that's the lead offside. We're already getting into time wasting.
Exactly. Mardiaga has to come out after that one. One nothing Jalapa, our score. So glad you joined us here tonight on the Real Esteli YouTube channel. We're also available tonight on Sports Flick. So I appreciate everyone tuning in across the globe tonight, Sean. We're worldwide tonight, my friend. What are your thoughts?
As we should be.
As we should be, you're right. Why not? Why not us? Jalapa 1-0 over Esteli. As number 8, Michael Montiel tries to set up his kick. And not observing the social distancing protocols there, Sean, is the Esteli defender.
A little more than 6 feet for that. Gotta go 10 yards. But yeah, this is a good opportunity for Jalapa to try and whip something in. And once again, looks like some trouble here for Jalapa to try to get this ball in. I don't know if the 10 yards are being abided by, but to try and get back to an aerial view of this pitch. But this is a good chance to whip a ball in, and it's going to be a right-footed outswinger, so you're going to have to try and get something more than just a redirection on it for a header.
And the header taken there by Esteli. Ooh, leaving his feet and going down hard there again is number 3 for Jalapa.
Yeah,
that's
Ramos.
And now the training cooler, if you will, there, Sean, makes its way onto the pitch.
There's that urgency from Esteli. It's Oscar Lopez going to help out Gerson Ramos. And
how about the sportsmanship there?
I think that's a little bit of gamesmanship. The sky is the sportsmanship, but
yeah,
we'll take what we can out of this. So that as Ramos tries to get back to his feet, but that was a nasty fall. Let's see how high up he gets on this. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and he landed right on his back, too.
Yeah, the tailbone is going to be sore for a while after that one. And
that's going to hurt for about a
been
week. Yeah, that's going to be sore for about a week or so.
Carlos Martino, the Argentine coach, having a chat with the referee. It might have been warranted to call that one a foul. I could see where he's coming from here. I think it was Jose Quijano was underneath him. And you can't necessarily just stand there and wait for the ball. you got to make at least an intention to play it, and I think Ramos was making maybe too much of an intention, and that's what led him to going over the top of Quijano, and that might just be where Martino has his gripes, but no foul given, I think, might just be the right call on that.
Once again, special thanks to our crew, our production crew for Esteli on the ground there in Jalapa, doing a great job even through adverse conditions here this evening. We lost the video feed a couple of times there in the first half, but great job of bouncing back and getting us back on the air. As we take a look at Esteli's number 23, that's our Oscar Acevedo now prepared to check in for Esteli. Acevedo, a number of heroic efforts in the Clausura season.
The 23-year-old's been with Esteli for 5 years now. I mean, he's been a consistent starter. He was originally set to start, I believe, in this game, and was a late push back to the bench. But come on for Rosas, and this is definitely a tactical sub to try and have a little bit more pace in that back line and just a little more energy. The 36-year-old coming out for the 23-year-old. I mean, that's just going to be fresh legs for the last 30 minutes of this game that Esteli needs to have.
They do, as they want to at least even the score here, if not maybe put 2 in the back of the net and get out of here with a win. You mentioned they are 7 points ahead of the second-place team in Liga Primera, so a nice cushion there, but this team not known for sandbagging, if you will, Sean.
No, not at all. The way Esteli is playing right now definitely looks like they are not okay with walking away and leaving Jalapa with a loss. It's definitely something they can afford to do in terms of the standings, but they definitely don't want to mentally, I think. And you can come back from a deficit, especially against a team on their home field and in the end of a season. This can be the kind of rally that you need to head into those playoffs and turn the Jets on and go win a title.
That's it. Nice effort there from Bronzati. Absolutely mugging the offensive player for Jalapa and taking the ball away.
Yeah, Liga had a great run, but that's a hell of a slide.
It was. Great placement on that one there for Esteli, but unable to capitalize as Acevedo holds it in.
These aerial balls, again, they're trying to get these balls into the air. This is the best opportunities that we've seen from Esteli here.
Quijano swings it in. It's turned away immediately by the Jalapa defense. Here comes Acevedo with it. And it caroms out of bounds. Great look at Oscar Acevedo right there. A native of Jinotepe, Nicaragua. Special thanks to our producer tonight for Spalk Talk, Mr. Ben Reynolds, doing a great job for us. Now, I know, Sean, he is up in New York City. I can almost guarantee you that. Oh. Writhing in pain on the pitch is the Jalapa player, as our official has a word with number 3 for Esteli. We're going to get another look at it here.
That's strong from Luis Lopez. Gabriel de Oliveira, he's been down already in this match with the head-on-head collision with Bronzati earlier in the match. I mean, now we're seeing he gets kicked in the calf. They're trying to stretch him out. He'll be okay from that one, but those sting for quite a while. If Lopez has escaped without a yellow card, he's very lucky.
He is indeed lucky, and how about the toughness on display right now for De Oliveira, Gabriel De Oliveira, 27-year-old native of Brazil. In his second year, joined in January of this year. Boy, looking back at January of this year, Sean, what a difference 9 months makes, my friend, all the way around. That one sent over the top of the crossbar to the oohs and ahs of the Jalapa faithful just behind the goal there and number 22, Denver Fox.
That's a great opportunity. Huge deflection that it takes and goes over for a corner. So Esteli, whoever made the intervention on that one, has just saved their side of goal.
Yes, indeed. Another look at it right here.
Quijano getting his foot in.
Josue Quijano. Ooh. A dangerous play there as number 6 now down on the pitch there for Jalapa. That's Colindres in his second year with the club, the 24-year-old defenseman. Great to see him up. He's going to run that one off, Sean.
Yeah, those are just those quick reaction pains. You just have to kind of work them out, run them off, and you'll be able to go back into the game quite quickly afterwards.
Zuniga now on the attack. And how about Bronzati with the effort there on defense for Esteli?
That's another huge tackle from Bronzati. He's done really well on these slides. It's working for him, and he's got to time him well, especially on this very wet pitch. He's doing a good job of it.
He is indeed, and the fans for Jalapa, they didn't like that one right there, but a great play for Esteli. Jalapa players avoiding a collision on that one. Jalapa swings through right into the chest of Denver Fox, who clears it out for the Train of the North. 67.5 minutes gone by here. Time is going to become a factor here very soon, Sean.
If it hasn't already, the way that Esteli is trying to hurry up plays, trying to make sure that they can get numbers forward on these attacks, they definitely know that this game is just slipping away quicker and quicker. Things are getting feisty.
Oh, that one poked out of bounds by Mosquera. A little shove there for Jalapa, and now it's getting chippy.
We'll see if any red cards are handed out, but these are hands to faces, which...
Richard Rodriguez comes in. Mardiaga comes into crowd control, yes.
Unless it escalates, I think you might just want to avoid giving any cards here, but hands to face is technically a straight red. We'll see. I think it's that extra
push the back
from
right
Mosquera,
there, yep.
And then the shove from Montiel, and that leads to this.
Now
Watch
Oscar Acevedo.
Throwing hands.
Yeah, anytime the hands go up towards the face, that's never good.
This is tough for the officials to try and decipher who should get carded, if any. I think you just kind of let that one simmer out, and no one gets a card, and you just kind of play on the game with what you had, and hopefully it cools off. If it escalates again, you have to make some type of decision there.
Kind of like offsetting penalties right there, wouldn't you say, Sean, to a certain extent?
Oh, yeah. You're going to find a way to connect that one to American football. That is definitely the way to go, but looks like we're getting offsetting yellow cards.
And there they are right there, dueling yellows.
Acevedo's going to get it for Esteli there. I think that was for that challenge. It was Acevedo, so not sure the Jalapa player who was booked.
Maybe they'll show that to us here momentarily, but the yellow cards out in full force now. It's Montiel who picks it up for Jalapa. So Montiel will be also the one to put it back in play here for Jalapa, up 1-0 as we approach the 70th minute. 20 minutes remaining here in regulation, Sean. Let's see what Esteli has for Jalapa. Well, these guys get up in the air on those headers, I tell you what. Mardiaga coming out to the corner. And he looks like he might have slipped on that one a little bit there.
Rushing his clearance, and it nearly cost them.
Acevedo working it on the near side. This is Liga down there with Acevedo. Esteli somehow holds that one in, so you get a look at Rodriguez going down. Jalapa with a wall of defenders right there. Rodriguez tries to send it towards the goal, but it goes out of bounds.
Not a bad idea, but Esteli's just having a tough time getting the balls into boxes and fighting the attackers. I think Juan Barrera has been about as quiet as we've ever seen him.
Yeah, we have not heard much from Mr. Barrera tonight, the leading goal scorer for Esteli. So glad you joined us here tonight on the Esteli YouTube channel. You get a look at the Jalapa faithful right there in attendance tonight. The rain holding off, a bunch of ponchos out and umbrellas earlier in the ball game, but those have since been put away. And the fans enjoying the night, especially with their ball club on top 1-0.
Yeah, Jalapa have to be happy with the way that they've played this game. And you can tell just the way that they have still been available in the attack, that they are not willing to let this one just finish 1-0. They feel like they can get more out of this game. They're not letting themselves drop back and force themselves to defend. That's something Esteli is learning very quickly, because they're finding those spaces, but then Jalapa's getting back in time. They're not overcommitting Jalapa, and that's why Esteli finds itself in this 1-0 deficit that they are struggling to get out of, partly because of the pitch, but partly because of Jalapa's tactics after scoring that first goal, which was a great goal by Brian Zuniga. He's had a couple good chances since, but that one definitely the opportunity of the game, and made sure that he took that chance. And I'm not sure what Esteli has to do other than really get more players involved in the final third, which hasn't really been the case. They haven't been able to find that final pass and get a clear chance on goal for Henry Maradiaga to try and save. He's been able to come out and punch them away and collect crosses, but not quite yet able to make the stops that we expected.
As we get our look at our Spanish counterparts on the Spanish broadcast tonight for Real Esteli. This is our second cooling break of the evening. Jalapa on top at home, 1-0 over the Train of the North. A shout out to our production crew once again on the ground there in Esteli, giving us some great shots of the crowd on hand here tonight during the cooling break. And we're in for a pretty good finish here, Sean. We'll see if Esteli wants to go ahead and force the issue, or if they're going to be content with heading back home, back down south from Jalapa, back home to Esteli, and losing this one on the road. Here's a look at Hover Flores. His second full year with the club. Carlos Martino. Got to look at him there for Jalapa. 74.5 gone by here in Liga Primera. Lots of long balls here tonight. Slow pitch all evening long, caused by the rain in the area, which continued into the first part of the ball game here tonight, but it held off. But Esteli not able to get anything into the net so far here tonight. But about 15 minutes remaining here in regulation to get that done.
Gotta get players forward here. Definitely ones who can not just get the header, but be trailing at the near post for that second chance. Maybe if this ball goes toward the back post, which you have so far, you try to head it forward to the front.
That one well defended there by Jalapa as the charging Oscar Acevedo comes through and tries to strike it. He does, but it sails wide and left.
More of a clearance than a shot almost, and it's not necessarily bad because you don't allow Jalapa to counterattack, but they may just want to try and put that one into the box rather than have a crack from that far out with that many bodies in the way. Just try and lob that one in. Give your attackers an opportunity. You already have so many of them in the box.
So Esteli comes up empty on that effort. As they try to regroup. Quijano sends it across midfield. And they ping pong it back and forth.
I'm not sure what quite did it, but the life of this game feels like it's almost been sucked out of it.
It does.
I'm not sure if it was the skirmish on that near side here or what it might have been, but almost as if not even the urgency, just the
Looks like the air's been let out of the building, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I'm not sure what quite did it, or if any one thing did it, or just the mentality around it. Just definitely has slowed down. I guess the urgency has gone away for Esteli in a sense, but they are still frustrated. You see a little bit of that vented right there.
Yon Mosquera sliding there. Richard Rodriguez obviously frustrated. As number 18 pops up off the pitch, frustrated himself. That's Marlon Medina with a few words for Esteli. Felt he was interfered with there, Sean.
That's a good call. I think Mosquera was just a half a second late on that. It's committing the foul.
Oh, nearly with a chance for half a second in front of the goal. Number 6 with it there for Jalapa, Colindres. But it looked like he might have just not been able to get his footing there.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. And that's from such a difficult angle to try and cross it into. It's down the middle, so you kind of have to pick a side that you want to play it to. In that case, made the decision to go left, and it works out really well, well executed. As we get Luis Acuna coming into this game, he knows how to score goals, and definitely an attacking substitution. Chavarria coming off.
He definitely knows how to score, does Luis Acuna, the 31-year-old Argentinian, in his second year with the club. So some fresh legs now on the pitch for Esteli as they might try to make one more charge at it here with just over 10 minutes remaining here in regulation. And Juan Barrera now goes down.
Just offside on that flick on there. That's the right idea. You gotta go forward, and the fact that we haven't really called Barrera's name in this game is quite shocking for a guy that has 13 goals in this season.
It's almost unbelievable, isn't it?
I'm not even sure if it's a level of Jalapa shutting him down and closing the arteries that get to him, but it's almost as if he's isolated himself out the game by playing so high and central that with the way this pitch is, they haven't been able to get the ball to him.
It might just be one of those nights for Juan Barrera, the lack of touches. And he's obviously the leading goal scorer for Esteli, and that's been a factor here tonight. Nice save that time for Mara Diaga.
It's the right idea. Try and put those balls in and make the goalie do some work. But this is what you have a risk of, a counterattack.
Zuniga, once again, great job up the near side with it. And then it's turned away there by the Esteli defense. 80 and a half gone by here in Jalapa. So glad you joined us here tonight. Make sure to get in the comments there on YouTube. Let us know where you're watching tonight's game from.
That's a good run, good center forward style run. Diagonally through that back line, you see it all over the world. Just a classic cut through the two center backs. And he's done well, but he just gets ahead of himself, offside, couldn't get the shot on frame either. Second time today that Jalapa's had good chances that have been called offside, but the shots have missed the target.
Yeah, Jalapa really done a great job here this evening against Esteli. That one trickles out of bounds near Josue Quijano. He'll put it back in. As now it's going to say it's going to be a Jalapa ball.
Not sure if it was a foul throw.
Couldn't really tell.
Or maybe it deflected on the way out. I can't quite tell what the call was made. I didn't see the referee signal a foul throw. So it might have been deflected on the clearance.
Bronzati on the far side with it. Quijano waiting to put it back into play. A player down on the pitch now for Jalapa. This is number 6, Colindres. So he's up and we're back at it. From Jalapa, Nueva Segovia, Nicaragua. Art Jalapa on top 1-0 as we get a look at the injured Adolfo Colindres, 24-year-old native of Nicaragua, in his second year with Municipal Jalapa. So he's going to be placed on the board, and they will take him off the pitch. So we'll hope that it's nothing serious.
That was so efficient. I've never seen a stretcher so quick.
Yeah, that was in and out, wasn't it? We'll see what they bring on now for Jalapa in place of the injured Colindres.
So 10 men for the time being. We'll see if that changes anything for Esteli, if they're able to take advantage of the short-handed Jalapa.
Boy, they would sure like to do that. Hover Flores would love nothing more than to even this one up. A little bit nicer ride home with a draw versus a loss. Acevedo now clears it up the near side. Jalapa feeding off this home crowd and trying to finish strong here and defeat the best team in the nation. I guess you would call that a moral victory, wouldn't you, Sean?
Yeah, you'd have to at that point. I mean, as well as the fact that they are still fighting for second in a sense, but it's momentum. You go into the playoffs, the Apertura. It's a tough season. It's long. You've got the Clausura and then the Apertura. And the fact that they're able to play in Liga Primera and challenge for it will be exciting for them. And we might even just see this matchup once again in the playoffs.
You never know, and a definite boost in the confidence, too, if they're able to hold on here against the number 1 seed. Rodriguez, nearly collides with the defender there for Jalapa, but somehow Esteli able to maintain control. Mara Diaga, nice job saving that one there.
He had to get that perfectly timed, and he did. Great chance for Esteli, but it was really well read by Henry Maradiaga.
A great job, Zuniga with a great job there against 2 Esteli players. Luis Acuna with it now on the far side for the Train of the North.
Well, with 5 minutes to go, this is an opportunity for both of these sides to find the spaces in behind. I think Jalapa is going to leave Zuniga up top for the remainder of this game and just try and lob balls to him. And for Esteli, it's going to have to be these crosses into the middle and hope that Maradiaga doesn't get out to them the way he has. They're just too close to his goal mouth, and he's able to collect them each time. They haven't been close enough to the penalty spot. They're all inside the 6, and Maradiaga's having an easy day just jumping up and punching them away and catching them and throwing them out.
Now it's just a matter of Jalapa holding on till the end here and staving off any sort of late attacks coming up by Real Esteli. Once again, a shout out to our crew on the ground there in Jalapa, doing a great job fighting through the adversity tonight. Obviously, we've lost the signal once again momentarily, but thanks as well to them for doing a great job for us on the ground tonight, Sean. And Ben Reynolds doing a great job for us for Spock. And a shout out as well to Mr. Alan Chamora, the head of partnerships and sales for Esteli, our contact on the ground there in Esteli. So thanks again, Mr. Chamora. We always appreciate you.
Yeah, looking forward to the way that they're playing here. I think that Esteli, they'll be at full strength going into the playoffs, and the way that they've played in this game on such a difficult circumstance, the pitch being the way it is, they are used to the turf back at Estadio de Pentencia, but they don't have it today. They're playing out in Jalapa. We've got something to play for in Jalapa, whereas Esteli is comfortable at the top of the table, and I think they're happy to stay there. A draw would have been nicer for them in this case, but going down 1-0 against Jalapa is not the worst thing for this side. I mean, they'll still be top of the table. They will still have that 1 seed going into the playoff and an opportunity to recapture the title in Liga Primera and do the double, winning the Clausura and winning the Apertura.
That's it. If you're Esteli, you want to learn from this loss, maybe take away some positives as you are also preparing for the playoff run, which is coming up in just a couple of weeks, really, Sean. Only a couple of games left here in the regular season, and then it's going to be time to ratchet things up even more for playoff time. Yeah,
and the way that I look at it is, if you're Esteli, like, this season has been a success in the sense that you came first in the league itself, in the table, after coming second the year before. As we get our picture back, Esteli on the right side, standing over a free kick, still trying to equalize on this one.
So the video is back. We'll double check that we're still 1-0 Jalapa. As Esteli looks like Luis Acuna with it now. Left-footed, swing. Turned away there by Jalapa. A little 360, trying to send it towards the middle that time for Jalapa. Good defense on there as well for Esteli. Jalapa sends it into the crowd behind Denver Fox. Fox now is going to get it out for the Train of the North. Only a few minutes left in regulation. Another ball came in there, Sean, from the exterior for a moment. So they were trying to return that original ball that carried him out of bounds on the last possession. Josue Quijano now with it for Esteli. Number 9 on the far side with it there for the Train of the North. Henry Garcia, 28-year-old native of Nicaragua, in his 3rd year, transferred over from Managua in July of 2018. Been with the club ever since.
Yeah, Managua coming first in Clausura. Now they're 9th in Apertura. And that's Jalapa's next opponent. Now that's a good opportunity to grab 3 more points for Jalapa to end the season and go on a high into the playoffs. Whereas for Esteli, they're finishing the season off, and they'll definitely have their focuses on the next game in the playoffs. It's getting that point. It's health, staying healthy going into that, and I think right now when you just look at the way that this game has gone, as long as players are staying fit, and you had the scare with Bronzati, but it looks like everyone else has stayed healthy. Maradiaga's done well here. He hasn't actually picked the ball up. He just caged it. Now he's got his 6 seconds on him, but that was great. The crowd loved it.
He's playing it up, giving the people what they want. Henry Maradiaga for Jalapa, the ex-Esteli goalie.
Yeah, shutting out his former team. That's pretty special.
That's very special. He has definite reasons to celebrate tonight, as well does the rest of this Jalapa team. You mentioned it's all about getting prepared for the playoffs. You've done many games, Sean, in many different sports. You know that it's all about the playoffs and really getting ready for that and peaking at the right time. That's really what you want to do. You want to be clicking on all cylinders, have all the little kinks worked out or as much as you can before the playoffs, and then really be ready to go in and shock the world.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big momentum shifter for Jalapa. This is a game where I think if they started the season, they're not circling it as a win. They're hoping to get a draw out of it. And if they could get a win, that would be huge. And now it seems they're just, moments away from pulling off a win and maybe even capitalizing it with a second goal.
Indeed. We've got to be close to the end of regulation time here. We've lost our score bug for the moment. But judging by the crowd noise and the intensified crowd noise, we are closing in on the end of this one. 1-0 Jalapa over the visiting Train of the North.
All eyes on the official here.
So Esteli now bringing it up the middle of the pitch. As we're bound to be close, or maybe we're already into extra time here. Sean, Juan Barrero with it now for the Train of the North. As Jalapa clears it out, Zuniga takes care of it in front of Oscar Acevedo. As you see, number 9 for Jalapa, the one that was injured in the first half. Gabriel de Oliveira, number 21, Delvin Silas with it for Jalapa. To Zuniga.
He wants a penalty, Zuniga, he wants a corner at least.
Can't believe there's not at least a corner on that one after he was accosted there by number 4 for Esteli as he approached the end line, Oscar Lopez. A little double team there for Esteli's defense. And that will do it. Jubilation in the stands. Celebration already underway, as you see in the foreground there for Jalapa. They get the win at home tonight in front of their home crowd at Estadio Alejandro Ramos Turcio by the score of 1-0 as you look at our final numbers here tonight, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, the bug right there saying 0-0. Well, it is 1-0 Jalapa. 7 chances for Esteli. I guess they didn't get any of them counted on for the second half. I'm not sure the accuracy of this one, but they did get an extra corner. So we'll see how that actually pans out on the official statistics. But Esteli just missing the mark on this one, and it's okay with the season winding down. It's okay with the opponent they faced and the turf, and I mean both teams have to play on that field, but Jalapa is used to that natural grass, that rain in Jalapa here, versus back in Esteli on the turf. But it's okay for Esteli, but this is a match they can learn a lot from about their team and some of their players that they can rely on moving forward into the playoffs and beyond.
A great game here tonight, especially if you're a fan of Art Jalapa, and obviously a disappointment for Esteli, but all is not lost. As you mentioned, they have a 7-point cushion right now in Liga Primera. That'll be cut into a little bit here tonight with the loss, but I'm sure there's a few friends on the pitch tonight there at Estadio Alejandro Ramos Turcios who's saying hello to each other or saying goodbye. And we'll say goodbye as well. Our final score tonight, Jalapa gets the win at home by a score of 1-0 over the Train of the North, Real Esteli. For my broadcast partner, Sean Meadow, for Ben Reynolds, for Alan Chamorro, as we get a look at Hover Flores there. Our final score, 1-0. Jalapa gets the win over Esteli. So long from Jalapa. We'll talk to you next time. Good night.
Y bueno, hay que seguir trabajando y tenemos que pensar en la siguiente jornada, no importa que hayamos perdido. Me gustó mucho la actitud de los jugadores y eso es fundamental. Con eso me voy, con la actitud. Siempre trataron de buscar. Es cierto que no nos salieron las cosas en algunos aspectos, eso hay que trabajarlo. Eso me preocupa un poco, pero bueno, yo creo que la actitud y el sacrificio de todo, yo creo que eso quedó de sobra el día de hoy.
Bueno, se pierde lastimosamente, pero ¿cómo se van a enfocar para los próximos partidos?
Bueno, ya esto ya pasó, hay que trabajar, hay que buscar cómo mejorar en los errores. Tenemos poco tiempo, ahorita lo primordial es recuperarse para afrontar el partido contra Ferretti y bueno, a sacar esos 3 puntos. Bueno, te vuelvo a repetir, tuvimos varias oportunidades, no las aprovechamos y bueno, en el fútbol el que se equivoca pierde.
Es un golpe anímico para los jugadores, ¿cómo se va a recuperar?
No, golpe anímico no tanto, sí un poquito amargo porque sabemos que es cierto que no fue el partido perfecto, pero tuvimos varias oportunidades para terminar el partido. Ahora lo que tenemos que hacer es enfocarnos, no podemos pensar en el partido que pasó, hay que pensar en el presente y lo que viene.
Muchas gracias. Dale. Ya, Henry Maradiaga se saca la victoria, ¿verdad? ¿Qué sensaciones te deja el partido?
No, primeramente gracias a Dios se nos ha dado pues el trabajo que venimos haciendo. Acuérdate que en esta cancha cualquier equipo se le hemos complicado y todo es gracias a Dios y nos dejó una sensación grande porque vos sabes ganar.